Hi.
I'm Ekwa and you're welcome to my YouTube channel.
On this channel we talk about faith, lifestyle, hair, music and vlog, and so you're welcome to this channel. If you're an old subscriber, hi there, thank you so much for always being around. So today's video, I don't know what this video is about, but let's talk. Okay, let's talk. So let's just get right into the video. So NSS is over, and maybe this video is going to be about me sharing my experience so far, transitioning from being a graduate to being an NSS personnel, an ex-NSS personnel. I think that's how they've been sending the messages. So yeah, to being an ex-NSS personnel, NSS personnel, national service personnel. Yes. Okay, so the journey has been an interesting one, and I really enjoyed every bit of it. I really did, though sometimes there were some hitches here and there, but then I think it's been a nice journey so far. And first of all, let's start with something. I want to first of all talk about planning. Okay, so if you are in final year yet to start your national service, I'd advise you plan, and that is because if you don't plan, you are going to get lost along the way, and you might actually lose focus on what you actually want to achieve. So if you don't plan, you might swerve alongside. So for instance, you should have in mind that you might be posted at a place where what the company does, or the goal of the company, or whatever the company entails, okay, it isn't the same as what you studied in school. And for that reason, you have to adjust yourself, you have to be available, you have to open up and be ready to learn something new. And in this learning process, probably you had a plan that this is what you want to achieve, okay? And because you have found yourself in an environment where whatever thing you are doing at that point in time is different from what you studied in school, then it's like you start enjoying what you are doing as a service personnel, and you begin to, you know, have second thoughts on whether to move into that field or whether to go with the initial plan. Well, first of all, I think you shouldn't be afraid of change. I think I was afraid of change, and it affected me in a way, because I've been at a particular place my whole life. I went to school, JHS in Kumasi, I went to SHS in Kumasi, University in Kumasi. Charlie, my life here in Kumasi, I'm a Kumarican. Okay, so if you should tell me that you want me to move from Kumasi to another region for my service, maybe it's going to be Wahala. But then I was afraid of change. But if you should ask me now if I'm afraid of change, I think my answer would be no. Yes, but then I was afraid of change. And so what I want to say is, don't lose focus. Okay, don't lose focus. If what you planned initially is what you really want to do, is where your passion is, don't be distracted by what you find yourself doing. Just don't be distracted. Keep the focus. As a friend of mine always says, keep the focus. Okay, and don't let the focus die. Don't let it die. And talking about planning, I want to talk about embracing the fact that not everything is automatic. not everything is automatic, in a sense that whilst you are doing your service, okay, you have the plan to further your studies right after service. Please, that thing is not automatic. It is not automatic. An example I can give also is when you are in senior high school, most ladies have the plan to get married at the age of 24, 25, 23, you know, those kind of things. And I felt we're making those plans because we actually were not realistic with our plans. And the question I want to ask you right now is, okay, you are 24 right now, you're 25, you're 23, are you married? Probably you are even now done with your service and you want to further your studies. Do you see yourself getting married like now? Nice. Yes, there are some people who actually got married, but so the point is not everything is automatic, okay, and you have to be ready to embrace failure will come. You know, when you are in school, there's always that saying that when you fail and you don't do anything about that failure, that actually means you are a failure. But when you fail and you rise up and you try to do something, then that does not make you a failure. Okay, we've been saying those things, but then those things would come into reality once you are out of school. Those things will actually come into reality once you are not under the supervision of a guardian. I'm not trying to say that when you are done with school you are no more under the supervision of your parents. You are still under the supervision of your parents, but then, you know, there's a difference. When you are in school, they still treat you as a child, but then once you transition from that point to the next point of you not being a student anymore, you are now working, you are now earning an income, then the mentality of you being a child then starts to change. Okay, notwithstanding the fact that if you are a last born, I know the last borns would relate. If you are a last born, no matter how old you are still the child. No matter how old you are still the child. Okay, and you just have to accept that fact. Yes. To move to my next point, which probably is the last point, that is, you can't leave God out of the equation. You can't leave God out of the equation. Yes, you plan to do this, you plan to do that, you know, but still everything has to be in the hands of God. Okay, everything has to be in the hands of God, or else it's not going to work. Everything has to be in the hands of God. So I'm saying this because yes, the planning is very necessary. You have to plan, because if you don't plan, I'm just imagining how God is going to work with your plan to align things to fall in place for you and then all that. But then an example would be, you come to me and you tell me you want to improve on your vocals, and I ask you, okay, what exactly is the goal? What do you want to achieve at the end of the whole vocal session you want me to help you with? And you don't have any goal, or you don't have any plan. Yes, you don't have any plan. Then it will be difficult for me to, you know, work with you. But then if you should tell me that, okay, I have issues with breathing exercises, I have issues with my notes, you know, then I'll know that, okay, this is your issue, so let's focus on that. Let's try to align things, so at the end of the session, then meaning that you should be okay. But you do not plan anything, you don't plan anything, and you go to God and you ask God that this is what you want. But what are you like, what measures have you kept in order to achieve those things? You want to work in this company, you don't expect the company to just appear, just send you a letter for an unemployment. you definitely have to also reach out to them, try and then make some research about the company. If you have to send a letter, if you have to send your CV here and there, like, you have to also make those efforts. Okay, you have to also plan. And so I believe you can't leave God out of the equation, and if you leave him out of the equation, then it seems you can do everything on your own, and that's not possible. That's not possible. You can't do it on your own. Like, you can't do it on your own. So just don't try doing it on your own. So one more thing I want to talk about is the fact that with time you are going to be anxious. With time you are going to get scared. With time you are going to think a lot. So that is when the word of God comes in and says, do not be anxious about anything. Do not be anxious about anything. Instead of being anxious, just put your request to God and prayer. Okay, at that point when you are scared, you should be able to open up to people. You should be able to talk to people. I find it difficult opening up to people, and it's not helpful, and so I wouldn't advise you keep things to yourself. I would advise you speak to people who you think you can trust. Yes. Thank you very much for watching today's episode of Equest World. I believe you've been blessed and ECG has visited us, and so therefore let's end it here, and until next time, bye.